Hi guys, my name is Miss Delight and welcome to my channel. On this channel I post sewing tutorials. This is the part 2 of the making of a classy mini gown with bell sleeves and a statement sequin. The part 1 was all about how I drafted a pattern and manipulated the darts, while this one is going to be the whole sewing process to the finishing of this beautiful dress you see on your screen. Let's just get right into the video. I'm working with 3 yards of this satin. I don't actually know the name of this satin dosha. This is not a Mikado, neither is it a bridal satin. But to achieve this kind of style, you can work with a Mikado satin. But if anyone knows the name of this fabric, I beg, do tell me in the comment section. To cut out the front part of our gown, I'm folding my fabric into two. Now, you're going to get your full length of your gown. So, whatever your full length is, add 2 inch to the length of your gown. So, I'm going to my full length plus the allowance, that is 2 inch I added to it. I'm going to go up to get my half length. I'm going to use my chalk to mark at my half length. After doing that, I'll use a ruler to connect it in a straight line. Alright, so that's done. I'm going to pick up my pattern paper. Remember, when I was drafting this pattern paper, I didn't add any allowance to the pattern. This is because it's going to be a gown, so we didn't need to add any extra allowance or half length that's to our pattern paper because it's going to be a gown. So right now, I placed it exactly on the half length line. I'm going to use my pin to pin this pattern paper onto this fabric. After pinning it, this is what I have. So now from this my half length line, I want to get my hip line. So to get your hip line, you can either go down by 8 inch or by 9 inch. I'm going to go down by 8 inch, make a mark at that point. Then I'm going to divide my hip measurement by 4 and also add extra 2 inch allowance to the division of my hip measurement. Now add the extra 2 inch allowance. That's good. So I'll go over to the full length of my gown. It's going to be exactly my hip measurement plus that extra 2 inch allowance. That's what I'm going to mark at the part. After doing that, you're going to use your free hand or your pattern master to connect those points. So now I'm connecting this part, and now the next thing I want to do now is to get our hip curve. So I'm using my pattern master now to create my hip curve. So in case you don't know how to place your pattern master to get your hip curve, you can just copy what I'm doing. So after using my pattern master on this, I didn't actually like how it was looking like. So I tried to use my free hand too. Okay, so now this is just all. We're going to use our scissors to cut around this. That's from full length all the way to our pattern parts. We are working on our back piece now. I'm going ahead to bring out my front. So I want to measure the what I have from my half length to my full length. So placing my tape at the half length, I'm going to I want to know exactly what I have to my full length. After getting that, I'm going to mark exactly what I have on my back piece. So see what I'm doing. I got 21. That's from my half length to my full length. I got 21 and I'm marking exactly that 21 on this back part. Using my pattern master, I'll draw a straight line. That's the same straight line we did for the front part. We're just repeating the same process. Next, I'm going to get my pattern for the back. Pin it on this with my pin. After pinning, this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to go ahead to make my hip line. I'm going down by the same 8 inch I went down by on the front. Next is I'm going to mark 2 inch out. This our zipper allowance. We're going to take out our zipper allowance. So I'm marking 2 inch and I use my pattern master to connect those new points I just made. Now that I'm done marking out my zipper allowance, I will then divide my hip measurement by 2 and also add my extra 2 inch allowance to it. So hip divided by 2 plus our extra 2 inch allowance, you make a mark at that part. You then go ahead, go over to your full length line, that's your full length. We mark exactly what we have at our hip at that part. Then we'll use our pattern master or our freehand to connect them. This is my pattern master. Sorry, this is like you can't see it. I'll just create drawing a straight line from that part, my hip line to my full length line. Now I'm going to use my freehand to make my hip curve. And that's done. I'm going to use my scissors now to cut round this. But before that, we want to take um our zip dart. Now this dart why this dart is useful is because it takes away every bulge that will appear at the middle of that's at that zip area. You're going to take away all those bulge. So I went in by 0.7. Now I'm going to use my pattern master to just create like something like a dart leg all the way up and down. I'm not using any particular measurement for the length of the dart. I'm just using my pattern master to just create something like a well I call it a V, something like that. So now that that's done, I'm going to cut round this my and also take away I also cut out this that I just gave at the zipper part. So, and this is what it looks like after cutting this out. So next, what I want to do next is just we're going to cut out a piece of fabric we're going to use to turn up our neckline for both the front and the back. Next, we're going to cut out our sleeves. So I went ahead to fold this fabric into four because I want to cut for both sleeves. I'm cutting for both sleeves now in the clean. So this is a bell sleeve. We're going to get the full length of our sleeve plus extra 2 inch allowance. This 2 inch allowance is for joining our sleeve to our dress and for folding our sleeve. So I'm going to use my to draw a line. Now what I'm doing right now, I just got the full length of my sleeve. Right, so that's done. So I went ahead to measure around the armhole of my dress to know what I'm working with. I'm going to mark it. Then I'll go in by 4 at that point and 4 here. Then I'll connect it. After making my armhole curve, the next thing I want to do now is to measure my wrist. That's to know how wide we want our belt to be. So I'm going to work with 15 the 15 here. So I divided 15 by 2 and I also added extra 2 inch to the division of that 15. So next is I'm going to use my ruler to draw a straight line. And that's just it. So now at this point, I realized that I didn't actually need the 2 inch extra allowance I added. So I just needed 1 inch extra allowance. So I'm minusing 1 inch allowance out of this. Now, the reason I minus this 1 inch out of this is because we're going to be folding the part of our sleeve because we're going to add a sequence to that part. Anyway, you might not understand what I'm saying until we reach the part of this tutorial. So I'm going to cut around this. So I cut around that and I also went ahead to attach my sleeve on my dress. So this is how it's looking like. And I also forgot to mention, I went ahead after turning up my neckline, I went ahead to join the shoulders and now I'm joining the sleeves. So I have half yard of this sequence. I went ahead to cut a band. The weight of this band is 5 inch, and as for the length, I just cut something very long that I know will be able to be enough for both sleeves. So it's going to be folded up like this. I'm going to fold it like this. But before that, I'm going to use my end, put my Emmy gum into it, then fold it into two, like you see me fold it. Then I iron it. Now this is just so that it can have a little bit of structure. So after ironing it, this is how it is now. So I'm going to bring up my sleeve. Now I'm going to bring out like that the sleeve part. I'm going to turn it over to the back. I'm going to work on the back of the sleeve. Yes, the back of the sleeves. I'm going to get this sequence band I just made, and I'm going to sew round it like this. That is at this part, so I can flip it over to it to be like this, and I will top stitch on top. Now, after that's done, you do it for both sleeves. That you put that band on both sleeves. So next, we want to do now is that we want to create our statement circle. So I'm going to fold this into two this way. Now, it just depends on how wide this fold depends on how wide and how big you want your statement circle to be. So I folded up mine this way. So next I want to do now is I want to get the midpoints of this. So I just mark the midpoint. Now, in case you're not able to locate your midpoint like by yourself, you can just put your tape and locate the midpoint. That's what I'm doing. Put your tape like this and you fold it into two. That's how you get your midpoint. So now what I want to do next is that I want to create a circle. So I'm going round by 5.5. As I go around, I'm going to use my chalk to connect each point. If you look at my circle is already even forming already. So 5.5 going round. And this is just how I created my circle. If you want, you can use a basin or your pot cover to create your circle. But I feel like you can do it this way. This way is accurate. So, and that's done. Next, we're going to use our scissors to cut around this circle. After cutting around this our circle, we're going to sew like join our circle together just the same way you see me join this circle. Now I'm going to bring up one part of my circle and I'm going to create a hole. Now this hole I'm creating is so like I can use from this hole I can turn up the whole circle. After doing this, you go over to your iron and you iron this circle flat so that your circle can be very very visible. Next is that you're going to get which part you want your circle to be. So I chose the left hand side of my dress. I marked from my shoulder, I got my half length and I also went down by 1 inch from my half length. So imagine your half length is 18. You go down by 1 inch, meaning your half length is what? 19 now. That's for how we want to place our circle. Next, I folded my dress into two so I can get the center part of my dress. This is because my circle is going to be like somehow close to the center of our dress. Okay, so see where I'm placing mine and place yours this way. It's at that 1 inch I went down by from my half length line and it's coming out like when I go to the mid part of my of my dress, it's kind of out, like it's kind of out of the center line a bit. So this how yours should be when you're placing your statement circle. After placing it, next I want to do is that I'm going to use my Emmy gum to put around this circle so I can iron it down. After ironing our statement circle down, this how it looks like. Then I can go over to your sewing machine and sew around this circle. You sew around it. The main point of sewing around it is so that it wouldn't like come out or come off. Okay, we're almost done with this tutorial. Next, we want to attach our zipper. So remember that 0.7 we took out from our zipper line. Don't let it affect that your 2 inch that 2 inch you added for your zipper. So you're going to fix your zipper using that 2 inch allowance. So now the length I am using 20 for the length of where my zipper will end. Then I'm going to mark that 2 inch from top to bottom. After that, I will sew it and stitch. Then I will also go ahead to attach my zipper. You now have to attach your zipper now. Just put your zipper on your dress. After putting your zipper on your dress, I also after putting my zipper on my dress, I went ahead to shape it, and this is just how it is looking like. So that's the end. It's very easy. Abby. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Don't forget to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching.